we talked about this on December 27th, 2024, second day of Kwanzaa, Kujichagulia, self-determination, on Roland Martin Unfiltered. And this deals with the Mississippi State Valley University marching band. Okay, there's a story here from their website. MVSU Mean Green Marching Machine invited to perform at the 60th Presidential Inauguration. Okay, and normally this would probably be an honor to be asked to perform at a presidential inauguration, but not for this president. Okay, so very briefly here, the celebrated Mean Green Marching Machine, the Mean Green Marching Machine, marching band from Mississippi Valley State University, MVSU, has received an invitation to participate in the 60th Presidential Inauguration Parade in Washington, D.C. on January 20th, 2025. This historic invitation highlights the band's legacy of excellence and cultural significance, showcasing the university and Mississippi's rich heritage globally. Okay, now the problem is that they are trying to raise approximately $350,000. The total cost of this historic trip, including travel, accommodations, meals, equipment, is approximately $350,000. Mississippi Valley State University is committed to ensuring that every student can participate regardless of financial circumstances. The university asks alums, supporters, and the community to support this monumental endeavor. Now, it's also important to note that MVSU marching band, in 1965, the band became the first historically Black college or ensemble to march in the Tournament of Roses Parade. They returned to Pasadena in 1968 and performed in President Richard Nixon's inaugural parade on January 20th, 1969. I don't think that aged well, that decision. Richard Nixon was an anti-Black president. Okay, and he ran on the platform of law and order, and he ran on the platform as a backlash to the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement and the rebellions that were taking place in the inner cities across the country, rebelling against white supremacy and racism. Now, these milestones reflect the band's enduring legacy as cultural ambassadors for Mississippi and the HBCU community. Okay, now, this drew a lot of backlash because they're trying to raise $350,000 to perform at the inauguration of Donald Trump, who ran on an anti-Black platform and is a white supremacist and a bigot. Okay, now we talked about this on Roland Martin Unfiltered, so I want to go to that clip here because I went in and broke things down.
The Mississippi Valley State University's marching band got invited to perform, let's hold on to our seats, at the upcoming presidential inauguration. The band, the Mean Green Marching Machine, will perform apparently at the 60th Presidential Inauguration Parade in Washington, D.C. on January 20th. And of course, the Delta Devil Band has played on several stages, big stages over the years, including NBA games, the Rose Bowl Parade, the New Orleans Mardi Gras Parades. They don't play down there in Louisiana, and the National Showband Battle of the Bands. You know, that's become a big thing, particularly in recent years. The band is apparently soliciting, in fact, I did see that, the band is soliciting donations to make this opportunity possible for students. But is this a good thing? Let's talk about this, brothers. Matt, good thing, bad thing? Any thoughts about the Mean Green Marching Machine being invited to come up to D.C. and march in the Trump inauguration parade?
It's a bittersweet thing because, of course, what college kid doesn't want the opportunity to perform for the president? The problem is it's going to be this president. That's the bad part about it. But it sounds like it's a great opportunity for them, for the school. And I hope despite the person in the White House, they're able to really revel in the honor of being, asked to perform in an inaugural parade. But again, I wouldn't want to do it for this guy. So that's the bittersweet part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike, what you think, brother?
It'd be like performing at a Klan rally. That's not, I mean, honor. I mean, okay. Yeah. If it was just to be invited to perform for a president in the inauguration, but this is an anti-black president who's gone on record referring to nations like Haiti as S-hole countries, who spread lies about Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio, who says he's going to unleash the police, who brought back the federal death penalty the last 6 months he was in office and executed 13 people, including 5 black people. I mean, it'd be like performing at a Klan rally. I mean, I guess you could tell your children about it, but why would you do it? I mean, no. 2025. I mean, all opportunities are not good opportunities. I'm sorry.
All money, not good money, huh, Mike?
No.
I tell you what, though, it's interesting. As y'all were talking, I was thinking about it. And, you're right. I mean, they're raising money. It is an opportunity, as you say, Matt, to do something. But as you say, Mike, of course, the question is, why were they invited? Why Mississippi? Are you trying to make a point? We all remember Ronald Reagan launching his damn presidential campaign from Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
These underlying tones. But what do y'all think about this? And I was just thinking about it as we were talking. They're coming up for the parade. So obviously that involves travel and logistics and lodging. What if, I remember when the Warriors, Golden State Warriors came up and they won the championship, and the good brother David West, who was on the team at the time, they had to go to the White House, of course, and that was, fraught with all kind of tensions at the time. But David West came up and stayed a little over and came by Howard, because he's a big supporter of Yosef Ben Yakin, and he's a big, African-centered guy. He came on Howard's campus and came to my class and sat, and I said, well, is that David West? What you doing here, man? Hey, man, we had to come up here, but I wanted to come over here and spend some time. And so he ended up talking with the class. It's a beautiful thing. But I'm saying that as a prelude to this. I want to ask y'all about this. What if the Symphony of Soul, which is the marching band, the great Bowie State University, the magnificent marching machine of the great Morgan State University, the National Treasure, as they are called, the Showtime Marching Band at Howard, and the Thundering Hawks at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I'm just thinking about the closest bands in the area. What if they got together and maybe welcomed the Mean Green Marching Machine either the day before, or maybe they stay overnight and maybe do something together to kind of wash that taste out of their mouth? I don't know if that would be, I don't know. I mean, could this be nuanced, or could it be surrounded in a way to kind of say, okay, this is an opportunity, but maybe they do it at the National Museum of African American History and Culture? Well, I don't know, but anyway, what y'all think?
Well, the day of the inauguration is the same day as the celebration of Dr. King Day. And there's going to be a big celebration in Washington, D.C. as well. So maybe the I don't know, but the organizers of the Dr. King Day celebrations need to reach out to them and have them come perform, because it's like, look, what are you celebrating? Okay, yeah, you go perform, but why? What are you celebrating? Have you read Project 2025? Have you read Trump's policies? They're anti-DEI, anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion. They want to close the Department of Education. What in the hell? Why? Go talk to Chrisette Michele. Okay? Chrisette Michele damn near lost her career when she performed at the inauguration in 2017. Her managers told her, don't do it. She thought it would bring about a healing to the country for her to perform. I don't know why. Roland Martin interviewed her. She made no damn sense in the interview. Love Chrisette Michele. Okay? Love Chrisette Michele. Go talk to her. I mean, why? Come on.
Matt, what do you think about that, brother? Is it possible, Mike has kind of laid this out a little, since it is the King holiday celebration, might it be possible for Valley to fold in some other things, and maybe while they're marching through right quick for a parade, make this about something else? Or are they, as Mike says, running the risk of perhaps being known for something they don't want to be known for?
Well, I'm glad you asked it that way, Doc. Mike is right, and I'm wrong about this. This is not an opportunity you take the more I think about it. I think he's correct. I think there are a lot of things they can do to try to salvage it, but you know, there have been so many statements by this Trump White House and by Mr. Trump in seeking the White House again that I think he's right. I don't know that they would be canceled by like Chrisette Michelle's, obviously apples to oranges with her being an individual artist and this being the band. But, you know, there is precedent for people saying, I am not coming to the White House to, you know, celebrate with you because I don't stand with your ideology. And I think you're right. I think my first take on it was probably a little short-sighted. I think it's, quote, an opportunity. But when somebody tells you that they hate you, why would you go do something for them, right? I mean, and that's what Trump has done here. So I think there are a lot of ways they could make it good. They could come by Howard. It would be great for them to come by and have like a battle of the bands at Howard in at the football stadium. I mean, that would be dope. But
that's a great idea, man. Right.
Hey, Greg.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
The Mississippi State Valley Band. Go talk to Benny Thompson. Go talk to Representative Benny Thompson from Mississippi, who headed up the January 6th committee. Okay.
Well,
and filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and others. Using the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, filed a civil lawsuit, right? Because of statements, derogatory statements they made against Benny Thompson and others. Don't forget Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman, how he put their lives in jeopardy with the lies they told. No, y'all need to rethink this.
Well, and on top of that, you know you're being used as a pawn because what everybody is what you said, right? So I think that's really what Michael put into focus for me, and I was a little short-sighted in my first answer because you've already told us you hate us. So the whole reason for you to call us is to say, I don't really hate them Negroes to say it the way I said I did the previous 200 times. So, you know, you're playing into that. I do recognize that there will be some people who will be, you know, like, man, this is the president of the United States. We have to take this opportunity. And I get that as a thought kind of in a vacuum. But when somebody tells you they hate you, take them at their word and don't go do something for them. So I think
it's true.
The more I think about it.
It's true. And Congressman Thompson, of course, you know, he should be in those blanket pardons that Joe Biden should be giving out because otherwise they're going to be trying to put Benny Thompson in jail. Right.
And he said he'll accept one. He said he'll accept one. Yeah.
Oh, no, of course. I mean, Thompson is the marquee guy. It is Thompson versus. I mean, so I mean, yeah, I think that's real. And that might even be part of the troll. I mean, y'all are bringing up some hella points on a Friday night, man. I think I love that idea, Matt. I mean, Green Stadium is right down the street, right up Georgia Avenue. If they did a battle of the bands with those four bands, Bowie and Morgan and Maryland Eastern Shore and Valley, I think it would send a hell of a message. And, you know, it's interesting because this might be the opening salvo of the conflict of the real battle with the Trump administration. And wouldn't it be ironic that a little band out of the Mississippi Delta Valley, which has been known up to now for most people for Jerry Rice, might be known for either leading the resistance or bowing down. And God knows, I hope it's the former. So I share that feeling, man and Mike.
That was from December 27th, 2024, second day of Kwanzaa, on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So we dealt with that story. Okay, now I want to go to, I mentioned Benny Thompson. We talked about Representative Benny Thompson saying he would take a pardon. We talked about that on Roland Martin Unfiltered as well. I want to, that was a couple of weeks ago. Candace Kelly was hosting, and we've been rebroadcasting that segment. Now, if we look here at, I want to show you this article here. This deals with the lawsuit that Representative Benny Thompson filed. Okay, leading House Democrat sues Donald Trump under a post-Civil War law for conspiracy to incite U.S. Capitol riot. Now, this is from February 16th, 2021. In the article, it says former President Donald Trump and attorney Rudy Giuliani, disgraced attorney Rudy Giuliani, are being accused of conspiring with the far-right groups Proud Boys and Oath Keepers to incite the January 6, 2021 insurrection in a civil lawsuit filed Tuesday in federal court by the Democratic chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. That was Representative Benny Thompson. The suit cites a post-Civil War law designed to combat violence and intimidation by the Ku Klux Klan. That is the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871 that was passed by Congress, and it was used in October of 1871 by President Ulysses S. Grant to declare martial law in 9 counties in South Carolina to crack down on Ku Klux Klan activity because the Klan was attacking and killing black elected officials, white Republican elected officials, and attacking especially African-American voters. The lawsuit filed by Mississippi Democratic Representative Benny Thompson in his personal capacity is the first civil action filed against the former president related to the attack at the U.S. Capitol, and comes days after the Senate acquitted Donald Trump in his impeachment trial. All right. So read the rest of this here. This is what this talks about. This deals with history. OK, so I love it when you have these idiots on social media. When I deal with history and we post articles dealing with history, we air videos dealing with history, they say, oh, that's in the past. What does that have to do with today? While at the same time, you have Republicans in state legislatures passing laws to suppress the teaching of various parts of history, to suppress the teaching of the history of slavery, to suppress the teaching of the history of the civil rights movement and how it's taught. And also you have Donald Trump, October 18th, 2024, when he was on Fox and Friends, he said that he would, one, dismantle the Department of Education, but also he said he would defund schools that teach about the history of slavery and teach that this was stolen land and slaves built this country on stolen land, etc. Okay, that can, I did a video about that. We have that airing here on the African History Network as well. But if we look at this article here from, I think this is from commondreams.com, commondreams.org. Okay, this is when Donald Trump was on Fox and Friends on October 18th, 2024, October 18th, 2024. All right. He's not kidding. Advocates warn as Trump threatens to defund schools. Just a second, where is that? Okay, he's not kidding. Advocates warn as Trump threatens to defund schools for teaching U.S. history. The Republican presidential nominee, and we know he won because of racism and sexism. Go watch my post analysis of the election. I was in Washington, D.C. The day after the election. And I was in Washington, D.C. on election night. And I was on Roland Martin's broadcast, election night broadcast. And then I did a broadcast from the hotel room before I flew out of D.C. I did a broadcast dealing with what happened and why Vice President Kamala Harris lost. Okay, but if we look at this here, Donald Trump is threatening funding if teachers don't teach what he wants, said one teachers union leader. That's indoctrination and it's dangerous. This is from October 18th, 2024. He was asked, what would you do if one of these woke states teaches this new type of history? Brian Kilmeade asked this question. This new type of history that this country was built by slaves on stolen land. Okay. And he said that liberal city or state that schools would teach that the country was, quote, built off the backs of slaves on stolen land, and that curriculum, where is that? Hold on, let me show you. I'm going to play this.
Anything to do with school choice, also. Okay. But also, separate from school choice, we're going to take the Department of Education, close it. I'm going to close it. We'll have one person, could be you if you decide to retire.
Okay, Mr. President, here's what bothers me. Here's what bothers me about that. So let's say you have a liberal city, let's Los Angeles, San Diego, and they just decide we're going to get rid of that history. We got new history. This is America built off the backs of slaves on stolen land. And that curriculum comes in.
Then we don't send them money. We would save half of our budget.
Okay.
So, first of all, Brian Kilmeade said we have this new history. Pay attention to what these people are saying. He said we have this new history that this country was built off the backs of slaves on stolen land. That's new history. That's called history. That's what happened. Donald Trump is saying if you have a city school district that teaches that type of history, he's saying his Department of Education would stop sending funding to that school district. And you voted for Trump because of the price of eggs? And you thought he was going to bring the price of groceries down? But when he was interviewed by Time Magazine right after the election, he said it's very hard to bring grocery prices down and they might not come down. Oh, really? So what was all that shit you was talking during the campaign? This is what I warn people about. Let me show you something. Let me show you this post that I did today. I ain't even between Adolf Hitler's rise to power and Donald Trump being reelected. Now, this is based upon history. This is not dealing with feelings, okay? This is based upon understanding history. And Americans are very ignorant of history and very ignorant of law and don't understand how the economy works. All right, let me go to this here. Just a second. I put this is on my Facebook page, but I also shared it. I think I shared it on Instagram. If not, I'm going to post it on my Instagram page also. Let's look at this here. I put this on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, and my personal page, Michael M. Hotep, also. Here's something else also. Let me show you this as well. I posted this also today. Okay, I posted this also today. Because Donald Trump is still saying the 2020 election was stolen. So you're saying that Democrats stole the election when they weren't in power, when they weren't in the White House, but they didn't steal the election when they were in power, when they did have the White House. So you're saying Democrats stole the election in 2020 when Trump was president, But they didn't steal the election in 2024 when Joe Biden was president to help Kamala Harris. That's how stupid these arguments are. But you're dealing with stupid people. Okay, now. This right here, who is that post? Oh, right here, dealing with Adolf Hitler. Okay, so I posted here. This is what I was warning people about in 2024 regarding the next petty tyrant want to be dictator. Study your history. I'm talking about Donald Trump. This deals with Adolf Hitler's rise to Nazi Germany. Yes, Adolf Hitler's rise to power in Germany was largely fueled by the devastating economic conditions in the country following the Great Depression. So Great Depression starts 1929, stock market crash, October 1929, stock market crash here in the U.S. Following the Great Depression, which left many Germans desperate for change and receptive to his promises of economic recovery and stability. Pay attention. Which left many Germans desperate for change and receptive to Adolf Hitler's promises of economic recovery and stability, even if his methods were extreme and ultimately destructive. This is considered a major factor in his election by the German people, because Adolf Hitler was elected into power. Read, let's see, so there's a couple of articles that I cited, and BBC has a good one also. But this one right here from the National World War II Museum.org. How did Adolf Hitler happen? How did Adolf Hitler happen? Okay. And in here, it talks about he ruled absolutely to his death by suicide in 1945 upon achieving power. Hitler smashed the nation's democratic institutions and transformed Germany into a war state intent on conquering Europe for the benefit of the so-called Aryan race. His invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939, triggered the European phase of World War II, because that's when World War II begins with Adolf Hitler. Let me close this out. With Adolf Hitler invading Poland, okay, September 1st, 1939. Now, during the course of the war, Nazi military forces rounded up and executed 11 million victims they deemed inferior or undesirable, quote, life unworthy of life, among them Jews, Slavs, homosexuals, and Jehovah's Witnesses. He also killed Afro-Germans as well. He killed Afro-Germans and performed and sterilized Afro-Germans. So somewhere between 25,000 and 50,000 Afro-Germans he either killed or sterilized. Let me see. Point I want here. Right. Okay. Adolf Hitler's rise to power. He and other patriotic Germans were outraged and humiliated by the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles, which is the treaty that ended World War I in 1918. Let me see. Pain, the crushing. Let's see. Hitler, a mesmerizing public speaker, addressed political meetings in Munich calling for a new German order to replace what he saw as an incompetent and inefficient democratic regime. This new order was distinguished by an authoritarian political system, based on a leadership structure in which authority flowed downward from a supreme national leader. Okay, so there's a part where they talk about economics. I can't find it. Oh, but the worldwide economic depression and the rising power of labor unions and communists convinced increasing numbers of Germans to turn to the Nazi Party. Okay, now you just had overwhelming support from the Biden-Harris administration for unions. The Biden-Harris administration took $36 billion from the American Rescue Plan and used that to prop up pension funds for 1 million auto employees, including at least 350,000 Teamster Union members. But the Teamster Union turns their back on Biden and Harris and doesn't endorse. And then the leader of the Teamster Union shows up to the Republican National Committee and speaks there, but doesn't speak at the Democratic National Committee, the Teamster Union. Now, Sean Fain of the UAW, he endorsed it, and we know the UAW endorsed VP Kamala Harris. Okay, but the Teamsters, they didn't endorse anybody. And this is after Biden-Harris, saved their pensions. The Nazis fed on bank failures and unemployment. Proof, Hitler said, of the ineffectiveness of democratic government. Hitler pledged to restore prosperity, create civil order by crushing industrial strikes and street demonstrations by communists and socialists, eliminate the influence of Jewish financiers, and make the fatherland once again a world power. Okay, so read the rest of this here. All right, this is at World War II Museum. This is from the National World War II Museum.org. And this is the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. How did Adolf Hitler happen? How did Adolf Hitler happen? And read the post that I did also, breaking this history down. Okay, now let's continue here. I want to go to this piece let's go to this article here from blackenterprise.com very quickly, then I got to move on to these other topics here. Okay, so blackenterprise.com also has an article dealing with the Mississippi State Valley University marching band. Okay, this one right here. Mississippi Valley State's band faces backlash over Trump inauguration invite while seeking donations for trip. And if we just look at this quickly here, the school is funds to travel according to WBLT. According to WBLT, the Mean Green Marching Machine will need to raise $350,000 to cover its expenses for the trip. Let me stop this ad from playing. Normally, a band's selection to perform at the inauguration of a president is an honor, normally, but the decision of the band to accept to perform for Trump has been criticized on social media. Now, on a social media post, Mississippi Valley State University on their X account says the MVSU Mean Green Marching Machine has been invited to Washington, D.C. for the 60th Presidential Inauguration Parade. Help us raise $350,000 to make this historic moment a reality. And they post their GoFundMe link, all that stuff there, right? I'm still trying to figure out what it is that you're celebrating. So they have some social media responses in here also. Some people on social media. Dawn Montgomery said, ask the governor of Mississippi or any of the Republicans in the state legislature if they can help get y'all there. Some people are saying, ask Candace Owens and Representative Byron Donalds from Florida. You know, Byron Donalds married to the white woman. Or ask Senator Tim Scott, the longest serving black Republican senator, Senator Tim Scott, engaged to the white woman. Or ask John James, black Republican congressman from Michigan, married to the white woman. Or Burgess Owens, black Republican out of Utah, married to the white woman. Or Herschel Walker, who is just named U.S. ambassador to Bahamas by Trump, who likes white women, or you know, some of these black Republicans. Ask some of them for the money. At Honey Bunches said, talk about shameful. I hope for your own good that y'all don't raise the money. I don't know what y'all are even thinking. That man is a blatant racist. So read this article here from blackenterprise.com. Mississippi Valley State's band faces backlash over Trump's inauguration invite while seeking donations for trip. This is from December 29th, 2024. What a way to end the year. What a way to end the year with some nonsense like that. Okay, so we're going to go to the next story. If you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network. Visit our website, africanhistorynetwork.com, africanhistorynetwork.com. And you can register for my online history classes there. We have a class right now on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Okay, so that class right now is limited time only. It's on sale $60. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back, and the content is PG-13, so you can use it. This content with your children also. Okay, it's very visual. I don't do a lot of cursing, anything like that. You can download the lesson plan right here as well. We have a lesson plan. All the classes are laid out. We have over 200 slides in the class. Let's see, over 200 slides. We have 80 to 100 articles that we reference, 15 books. You don't have to buy any of the books to follow along in class. And also the video clips, excerpts of interviews I show you with some of our scholars, like Professor James Small, Professor Kaba Kamene, Tony Browder, Runoko Rashidi, and more. Click right here to download the lesson plan. You can watch a preview of the class right here as well. And we have our PayPal Cash App information here also. Our Cash App is $ the AHN show, SHOW. These other ones are fake African History Network Cash App accounts. We have the link here. So when you click on it, it takes you to our QR code. All right. And let me post this here. We've got that. Okay. You can post your comments here on the thread of the broadcast. We have our QR code up here for Cash App. So this helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay some of the bills, etc. Because it takes a lot to run the African History Network and finance it and do the research and pay for these services that I use as well. All right. Looking at some of your comments here. Let's see. Michelle Washington said they shouldn't do it. It is going to be a sad day for us. I agree. She also said it's a stupid idea.